The impact of the disaster and the surrounding forest on wildlife also remains an area of active research. In the immediate aftermath of the incident, an area of about 4 square miles became known as the Red Forest because so many trees turned reddish brown and died after absorbing high levels of radiation. Today, the exclusion zone is eerily quiet, yet full of life. Though many trees have grown, scientists have found evidence of elevated levels of cataracts and albinism, and lower rates of beneficial bacteria among some wildlife species in the area in recent years. Yet, due to the exclusion of human activity around the shuttered power plant, the number of some wildlife, from lynxes to elk, have increased. In 2015, scientists estimated there were 7 times more wolves in the exclusion zone than in nearby comparable reserves, thanks to humans' absence. The Chernobyl disaster had other fallout. The economic and political toll hastened the end of the USSR and fueled a global anti-nuclear movement. The disaster has been estimated to cost more than $235 billion in damages. What is now Belarus, which saw 23% of its territory contaminated by the accident, lost about a fifth of its agricultural land. At the height of the disaster response efforts in 1991, Belarus spent 22% of its total budget dealing with Chernobyl. Today, Chernobyl beckons to tourists who are intrigued by its history and its danger. But though Chernobyl symbolizes the potential devastating of nuclear power, Russia never quite moved beyond its legacy or its technology. As of 2019, there are still 11 operational RBMK reactors in Russia. The damaged reactor was initially covered in a giant concrete sarcophagus to stop more radioactive material escaping. In 2016, the new safe containment shield was put in place, the largest movable steel structure ever built, acting as a giant hangar over the entire nuclear power plant. Within it, workers are still busy keeping the site safe. They monitor radiation and eventually plan to dismantle the concrete sarcophagus and remove the nuclear fuel. Tourists have even returned, although they are kept out of most radioactive sites. Every year, tens of thousands now visit, often to see the haunting ruins of abandoned towns. Opposite the old nuclear site, a new power plant has started generating clean power. Solar panels produce enough electricity to power 2,000 apartments. It's a project that is much about symbolism as economics. For the people of the area, it's a sign of recovery and new growth. That recovery is most evident in the natural world. Although animals and plants inside the exclusion zone still show some effects of radiation, life is finding a way to adapt. For example, frogs living inside the exclusion zone are darker than those outside, which may give them extra protection against radiation. In fact, parts of the exclusion zone have become a haven of biodiversity. Researchers have seen brown bears, lynxes, European bisons, and boars in growing numbers. An unexpected side effect of evacuating people from the area has been to create a wildlife sanctuary where species can live untouched by human activity. As a result, some scientists have come to two conclusions. First, animals and plants may be more resilient to radiation than we had originally thought. And second, the effect of the world's worst nuclear disaster may be less damaging to the natural world than the continuing presence of people.